So you're a relatively new CMO, and one of the things that you're really going to struggle with are metrics. Fortunately, we've got Taran from Growth Natives here to give you some hints on how to get your metrics set up early on and working for you. So what's tip number one?
So tip number one is really throw the vanity metrics out of the window and focus on what really matters. When I say what really matters is really what is it that drives your business? What's adding to the top line, what's adding to the bottom line. Understand, get deep into not just like what's the website traffic, the number of leads. I mean, that's all good, but get into like not just revenue, but also like things like what is my customer acquisition cost, what is my customer lifetime value, and even like try and benchmark yourself against your competitors and the market in general. Like if you can't do it yourself, seek some help, get like data from analysts, but you really need to understand the metrics that matter and how to measure them, and also like really get as deep as possible.
So I'm 100% with you on the vanity metrics. I mean, while I do think that things like website traffic ultimately do have an impact, but it's just so hard and nobody believes you anyway. But you talked about lifetime value and CAC, and those are actually, you need help to calculate those. I mean, your CFO has to really get involved. So have you seen a lot of companies be able to figure that out relatively quickly?
It's a process, but it's not like that hard, especially the customer lifetime value. If a company is not focusing on it, I don't think they're doing justice to their existence. If they don't have it ready, I think it is very, very important for the CMO to push to have that number, because that's what actually really helps you calculate the ROI from like big investments that you're going to make into the brand, into marketing, into like driving more leads, and then also like the customer acquisition cost. I mean, that's another very important metric, because the return on investment is really the ratio between the customer lifetime value and the CAC.
Right. And you're definitely speaking the language of VCs and PEs because they're all over those two things. So the next part of this is you mentioned that you should try to get benchmark data or comparative data. So have you seen examples where, let's say, the ratio is 6-to-1 on terms of lifetime value versus cost per acquisition, and then suddenly you find out a competitor is doing it at 12-to-1, and you go, whoa, what are we doing wrong?
Yes, I mean, I think that's the key is, and usually it's easier to decipher if your competitors are publicly traded companies, because sometimes those numbers are published. Otherwise, it's very hard. Otherwise, if you are venture backed or PE, you have to really kind of lean on them to get you some market insights, because everybody has advisors, everybody has like hooks into, and if it is not even like the exact competitors, it's also like companies that are kind of in your ecosystem. And I think most important is really the if it is not the customer lifetime value, the average customer life cycle. How long do they remain a customer? Because revenue could be it could be different in any and every scenario, basically.
Now, how do you feel about, say, a VC firms? They have benchmark data across all of their companies, but they're in different industries and they're in different life stages and growth stages. Do you think that that's a relevant benchmark?
No, that's really not a relevant benchmark. But the good thing is both, venture and PE companies, they try to stay in like certain swim lanes. Like somebody's really like focused on security, somebody's really focused on fintech. So, in those, if they are relatively, what I would say like cousins in terms of, the company likes, I think you could really kind of get some insights from them.
All right. Well, if you're a B2B CMO who can share, care, and dare with the best of them and need some help with your metrics, do yourself a favor and check out CMOHuddles.com. We have some amazing partners, including Growth Natives. Thank you, Taran. I'm Drew Neiser. That's your Wednesday Wisdom. Peace out.